What time it is? It's Sunday Caregiver Stories. I am so excited that we're back for another week. I have 3 incredible stories to share. And of course, Georgina's back and she's our girl. But I'm going to start off with one that I got right away last week after our first week back. And I really want to share the message, and I know you will all really love it too. So, again, this is Sunday Caregiver Stories. I'm going to be going live every Sunday with anything that caregivers want to write in. If you want to share a story, whether it be positive, negative, just venting, tips, techniques, whatever you want to share, you can share with me in my email, and then that's dementiadarling@gmail.com. And then I will share it on here. It will be anonymous if I will always go anonymous unless you tell me otherwise. But I just really appreciate, lifting up the caregiver voices and experiences that are happening in real time. So any of your thoughts and feelings and experiences I want to be able to share. I'll also have lives on here with caregivers, and we'll talk, take questions, things like that. So that's Caregiver Sunday Stories. So let's get started. Okay, so here we go. Happy to share Jetty's Adventures is what it's called. Dementia Happy Home. Hello, I'm Jen. I've decided to write because I want to talk about the positives in dementia and the narrative I feel I'm fighting. I feel you, girl. It took me a long time to admit and understand that I was a caregiver. Does anyone else relate with that? She didn't say that, but I'm just wondering because I think this is very common to not even know you're a caregiver because it's not talked about enough like that. These are actual roles we take on, not just things we expect, people to do. These are full-on roles that we take. So just wanted to point that out. So I'm starting over. It took me a long time to admit and understand that I was a caregiver. So like a lot of us, I found myself on a path I was completely lost on, and I didn't know the way. Honestly, I don't want to know where the path leads. I joined Instagram to see who was out there that could help, and I found this amazing community. One night I was alone in bed. I was at my dad's house and my husband and daughter were at home. I was in tears after a bad night with dad, and I jumped on Instagram and popped up Carrie. Oh, I was crying because I felt like I was failing. You're never failing. I thought I can't do this anymore. I don't know what I'm doing, and you saved me. Oh my gosh, stop, Jen. I'm so glad it found you when you needed it most. You burst on my screen and said, even if today was a bad day, or if your loved, you said, even if today was a bad day, if your loved one is safe in bed and you put them there, then today is a good day. You completely changed my mindset, and to this day, it's what gets me through good and bad days. I'm so happy about that, Jen. I'm so truly so glad I could help in that moment. There is good in every day. I let the moments that are not good or happy or perfect go, and I focus on the good, the things dad can still do. I don't think on the fact that I could have been more patient or more positive, because I'm doing a job I was not trained for or paid for, and I'm doing it well. I know I am. I'm going to reiterate this for all the caregivers because this is so true. Thank you, Jen, for saying this very wise statement. Okay, so let's go back here. Okay. I'm doing a job I was not trained for or paid for, and I'm doing it well. I know I am. Please know you're doing it well. Again, you're not trained or paid for this. No guidebook, and you're doing it and you're showing up, so thank you. Well said, Jen. Back to Jen. I struggle with the negative attitude towards dementia. Everything is about loss and what they can't do. Yes, this disease is heartbreaking, but people can live well with dementia. Yes, Queen. If we let them and include them. Yes. Dad and I have dementia adventures, and I want to show that we can all have a positive influence to anyone living with dementia. Getting Dad to wear a badge that says I have Alzheimer's has made such a positive impact. The smiles it brings and the people that see the badge and say hello are all changes for the good. And I will keep fighting with you and this community's help for everyone with dementia. We all have bad days. I do, but this community picks me up every time. I get up much faster these days. Thanks to you all. Jen, You're the best. Oh my gosh. Yes, Debbie, focus on the good. Like our Remember Me Girls podcast says, accept the good. And I just love this, Jen. This was such a beautiful, just beautifully worded. I'm so glad I was, able to pop up in that moment on your feed. And I just love what you're saying here, because I struggle with that negative, mindset we see all the time too. This negative stereotype. I want to actively fight against that every single day I show up on here and when I meet people in real life. And it's just, we have to change those perceptions, because dementia, you can live for a long time with dementia. And if we tell people they go into this sometimes very long prognosis, progression of a disease, and tell them there's no joy, that doesn't sit right with me, because there is joy. It might look different. We might have to do things to, help make it happen more. But man, there is joy and it is possible. So thank you for this, Jen. This was beautiful. Your dad is so lucky to have you. I'm so glad he has these badges to wear. I think that's really smart. I would love to see a picture of that. But I think that's a wonderful way to get, people in your daily life talking about it and being more inclusive. So thank you for, sharing a dementia-friendly world with what you're doing with your dad. I really appreciate you, and just thank you for your words. Thanks for writing in, Jen. I want to hear more from you. Please write in more. We want to know your wisdom. So let's go here to, I have another one from Al. Oh, sorry. Wait. Let me make sure here. Okay, wait. Here's Georgina. Okay. Keeping up with tradition, it's Sunday, so here's my story this week. And this is Georgina. Oh my gosh, wait, Georgina, before I start. So Georgina's amazing, and she's very creative. She's very crafty. She's the crafty carer. Hello. And a while ago, she has made me these beautiful pieces of art. I have a couple others that she sent me all the way from England, like nicest person. But she has these little things that you can hold, and they're beautiful, that she's created. And these are hugs, and you're supposed to hold them when you need a hug or you need support, and you need, that positive energy. And I have a few of these from her, and it's always on my desk. Thank you, Georgina. But I wanted to tell you, I go outside to get my mail the other day, and I see one of these hanging on the bush, and I think, this is literally Georgina. Because Georgina does things where she'll leave those hugs, or she'll leave little art pieces around in her community for other people to find and bring joy to their day. So kind. And this was one of those kind of things. So this was, I Need a Home, and it's from something called I Found a Quilted Heart, and it's ifaqh.com. I found a quiltedheart.com. But it's beautiful, and I'm going to pass it along, but I wanted to share it and show Georgina that your joy is out in the world, and I want to inspire other people. Oh my gosh, a gnat just hit me in the face if you saw that. Sorry. I have plants, and sometimes I get these little gnats in the summer, so I promise I won't smell that bad. But yeah, so back to this. Hello. I'm all over the place, but love this little heart that I found, and it showed me, to look for the joy a little bit, but it reminded me of Georgina and the hug that I have on my desk from Georgina to hold whenever I need that little boost of, positivity or love. So thank you, Georgina. And as I say that, I'm going into Georgina's Sunday story. So here we go. After finally getting a break for a day to spend with my husband doing productive and fun things, I realized something that I have reflected on before, but feel it's important to remind ourselves of. Quite often as caregivers, we are left with the feeling of loss, lacking and missing out. Whether it's the loss of our freedom, the lacking of control and stability, and the missing out on regular life, we feel hard done by, frustrated, angry, and often sad. Sorry, Georgina, I'm probably reading this wrong. Whether it's the loss of our freedom, the lacking of control and stability, and the missing out on regular life. We feel hard done by. I am frustrated, angry, and often sad. All completely valid feelings that make complete sense to the situation that caregiving puts us in. Sorry, I chopped that up. However, if you flip that mindset from what it's missing to what we find, it can simply change how we view caregiving, how we get through, and how we live our lives. Here's what I mean. Dementia has focused me to watch my Nan disappear and lose herself, to have forced changes and difficulties that she's faced with. But I also get to help her find her joy, embrace her new self, and enhance her abilities she still has. Finding moments of complete love, freedom, and happiness that can fill my heart and recharge my soul. That was beautiful. I could also say I have less time for me, for fun, and for freedom. And although that's still true, I have learned to make the most of the free time I get. I appreciate it immensely and look after myself in different ways. In the same way, I can look at caregiving, removing friendship, breaking relations, and leaving me isolated and alone. Or I can be grateful for those people who stuck by us, the relationships that got deeper and stronger through struggle and understanding, and the new community that has been found that without caregiving, I wouldn't have found. That was really profound, Georgina. You're so good. Okay. Sorry. So yes, we have struggles. We get to be angry and sad about that, but we also get what most don't. We get the opportunity to see deeper, feel stronger, and live better because of it. Oh, you're amazing. Caregiving gives us that roller coaster for a reason. Remember, there's no rush without the climb, so hold on until the top, because the down can be the best bit if you can embrace the ride. Love you all, and thank you for being part of my roller coaster ride. Your friend, the crafty caregiver, Gina. Oh my gosh, that was so good. Georgina, you need to write a book. That was so beautifully worded. I love how you look at mindset, and I was just talking about this with someone, and I know probably most adults already know this, but I'm finally learning it, that life is really truly all about mindset and you know, choosing the mindset we want. And it's obviously easier said than done, but I just love that, you know, Georgina has put in so much work and has put in so much as a caregiver in her wise words of how she has, you know, flipped the script for herself in her mind and change that is just so beautiful. I love what she has said, but she's also validating, like, yeah, this is the hardest thing ever, and all those feelings are valid, but she's choosing to look at it in a different way on top of those feelings, because both can exist, right? And I think that's something that we forget about, because I think I do all the time. I'm like, oh no, I'm completely sad, but it's like there's also joy still happening, but I'm just like choosing to only see the sad. There's both. There's, you know, there's both happening at once. There's grief and there can be joy. But I just love, I want to reread, I know I do this, but I want to reread this one part, okay? Okay. Dementia has focused me to watch my Nan disappear and lose herself, to have forced changes and difficulties faces that she's faced with. But I also get to help her find joy, embrace her new self, and enhance her abilities she still has. Finding moments of complete love, freedom, and happiness that can fill my heart and recharge my soul. I just had to reread that from her because that was so beautifully put. And yeah, I just love you, Georgina. Thank you so much for always sharing with us and being so raw. And yeah, you're the crafty caregiver, everyone. The crafty carer, everyone. She's truly creative and so wonderful at expressing in so many different mediums. But her writing is beautiful. So I have one more I want to share with you. Okay. Hi. My dad and I took care of my mom at home for a lot of years. She had a bad fall, and his emotional, mental, physical health was too fragile. So I had mom join a memory care community. She had Parkinson's for 12 years, and the last couple of years, dementia has snuck in. I'm so sorry. She has awful hallucinations, cruel, scary, awful hallucinations. So sorry. Can anyone relate with that? I'm so sorry to hear that. That's really difficult. Her personality has changed a lot. Verbal abilities have decreased. She knows she's married and she knows my dad's name, but seeing him, she can't always identify him. It's been so hard not being primarily in charge of her daily care. Mom and I have always been so close. I've studied and learned everything possible. I changed the path of my work life. My family was active too. Just a family sandwich caregiver there. And she says, I'm fully invested in Mom. And before I move on, thank you for everything you've done. Just incredible. Thank you. It's been a rocky transition, but the staff has been very kind and patient. I'm glad to hear that. I was going daily. Then it seems like I trigger her. My time with her always involves tears, agitation, and anger from her at me. When I send in my dad or a friend of hers, they don't have any negative reaction. I've limited myself to once a week for the last 2 weeks, and the nurses have reported less agitation episodes. I experimented with not going daily, and she's had less agitation, less awful hallucinations that would leave her yelling and screaming, and less tears. Is that a thing? I know there's so many unknowns in dementia, but could I be a trigger that makes her upset? She's not fully verbal. It comes and goes and is very scattered. Is anyone else out there having these instances? Have you heard of this happening? A once super close bonded relationship now triggers agitation and tears. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry that is what is happening, and that is heartbreaking. But I have seen this, and this is something that yes, I have experienced. I don't know if anyone else wants to say in the comments or also relate as well, because I know she is not alone in this. In my experience, I have seen this, and I know I'm not a bonded person with someone. I've been a trigger to someone. It is heartbreaking, and they weren't even my family member. I cannot imagine, so I'm very sorry you're dealing with that. What comes to mind for me, and I want to preface, I am not a doctor. This is fully just my experience. I am an educator and advocate, and that is that I'm not a doctor, okay? This is not medical advice. This is just my opinion and what I've seen. Working in assisted living memory care communities. So what first came to my mind is maybe why you are a trigger or agitating to her and the other people aren't, just because you said it was her dad and then a friend of hers. In her dementia, she might have progressed to a time in her life where you are not there yet. So like she's like younger, where she hasn't had kids yet. Not that, it's anything against you. It's not personal. It's like maybe she has gone to a place in her memory where she can only remember things, up to high school, let's say, and or when she met your dad, and then maybe that friend, and so those people are people she remembers because she's in that period, in her timeline, and so you maybe, because she doesn't recognize you in that timeline, it's agitating because she doesn't know what to do, because she's like, I don't know this person. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. But I also, again, I don't know the situation. But that's, the first thing that came to my mind. But I know not a lot of people have known probably their husband, until they were much younger, but or their friends, that they might have now. So I'm not saying that's, universal or anything, but I also think that, it can be really hard because you might be reminding her of someone else that was triggering for her in her past. So she might be in a place where, I don't know, you look like someone that bullied her, let's say. I'm just throwing this out there, and so for some reason that's the only thing she's associating with you, unfortunately. And these things happen, and it's really, really unfair to the family and the person that it's directed at. I'm really sorry. In my experience, like most things with dementia, that we see is it kind of comes and then it's a stage and then it goes, and you don't experience that anymore. So I hope it doesn't happen for too much longer, because in those kind of situations, there's no like talking them out of it, right? As I'm sure you guys have obviously noticed, you can't talk someone out of a true delusion or feeling there, but I do know that this is seen and it happens. So please don't think that you're doing anything wrong or that anything like out of the ordinary is happening here. This is something that does happen, and so I'm hoping people will comment as they watch this over when it's posted, and maybe add in their insights if they've experienced this. But I do know, some people, especially with Lewy body dementia, let's say, and we do see it, of course, with Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, but those hallucinations can be so heart-wrenching. And family members can't do anything but just love them through it and try to help them through it. So thank you. Someone said, I too have experienced this. Excuse me. So you are not alone at all. So please know you're not alone. This is something that does happen, unfortunately. But I hope that, she can get to a point where she's not as agitated and that you can go visit and enjoy. I wonder if maybe there's a way that as a group or with a couple more people there, if you can kind of blend in and be a part of it. But I know that's not what, necessarily what you're looking for. You've had that bond and you're looking for those special interactions where it's you and her. So I'm really sorry. I wish I had like an answer that would just be, a foolproof answer. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that you could try. Man, I just really think, if someone sees you as someone else, it's so hard to work through that. Yeah. And it does just take some time. So I'm just really sorry. I'm going to keep thinking on this. And since you emailed me, I can email you back if, and we can talk about this further too. But thank you for sharing. Thank you for being open about this. We need to talk about these questions. So please, if anyone else has questions, I'm sorry, I don't have necessarily answers, dementia care, we're all learning, right? And trying to, learn together. And so whatever you'd like to share, I would love to lift up and we can talk about on here on Sunday nights. But thank you to everyone who wrote in. Thank you for everything that you all do on a daily basis, because I think it just becomes so nonchalant in a caregiver's lives, and they're like, yeah, that's what I do. But you should be so proud. You do so much. You don't just, it's not nonchalant. It is a big deal how much you do every single day. Truly. All those, you're like, oh, whatever, I made breakfast and I got this. No, you did a lot. You're keeping people going. People do far less, trust me. So thank you. Have a wonderful night. I hope no Sunday scaries here. I hope we go into the week wonderfully. It is our month. June is, our month, but Alzheimer's Awareness Brain Month. I like to hope that one day it'll just be Brain and Dementia Awareness Month. But we'll be lifting up all the dementias this month, not just Alzheimer's. But it's always, Dementia Awareness Month on this page, and we'll keep sharing. But let me know what you think about Sunday Stories. Send in anything you'd like to dementiadarling@gmail.com. One other thing. Okay, I posted today a fact from Alzheimer's Association, their resources, their fact and figures report that came out recently. And I didn't think to break down what PCP means, but do we all know what PCP means, or is that not as common as I thought? Because that's your primary care provider, or primary care physician, your main doctor you go to. I should have broke that down and not just assumed everyone knew what PCP was. So I'm sorry about that. That was probably not clear for everyone. So in the future, I'll make things more simplified and clear. But just love you all. Thanks for all you do, and get some rest tonight. Bye.